All right, let's make a dither effect in Blender. So first thing you need is like a dither pattern. And to find this, I just looked up ordered dither threshold map. And most of what I learned about dithering is pretty much just from Wikipedia. A threshold map is going to give you an image like this. It's just 4 by 4 pixels. This one in particular, you can, make it bigger or smaller, but it's going to give you a bunch of grayscale values between 0 and 1. So 0 would be black, 1 is white. I used one from this website. So you can use that. You can use some other tool, and later in the video I'll show how you can just make one directly in Blender, but this is like a known pattern called like a Bayer dither pattern or something like that. But anyway, let's go into Blender. I just have this example scene with a bunch of colors. We'll go over to the Compositor, add a new Compositor setup right here. And also you want to make sure that you're using Material Preview or Render View. And just make sure that you have your Compositor set to display always so that we can actually see it changing. All right, so I'm just going to delete the viewer right here, and we're going to find that dither image that we downloaded, and we can just drag and drop it in right there. And now let's take a look at it by plugging it in. This is really small, it's just 4 by 4 pixels, and it's not tiling. So we want this to repeat in every direction. We can do that with a scale node right here. It's not doing anything yet because we have to go change clip to repeat. Now it's repeating that way, change the other one. And this is how you change the scale. So if we zoom in, it's really blurry and we want it to have that hard edge pixel art style. We can change this from bilinear to nearest, and that will retain the hard edges for us. I'll set this back to 1, but I'll probably be turning it up and down a little just so that we can see the pattern more clearly. Okay, so now we need to turn this image right here and like change the colors so that it actually looks dithered. And this is pretty similar to in my other video when I showed how to do the halftone effect and stuff like that. So the first way that I'll show, and I'll show a few ways. The first way is by getting a separate color right here. So it's going to split it into red, green, and blue channels. And then we can get a combine color right here. And if we plug all these in, it's just going to look exactly the same. But what we're going to do is alter all the channels in between. So we can do that by getting a math node set to greater than right here. And I'm just going to plug this into each channel like that. And so this is basically just giving us on and off for each channel right now. And if we change it, this is just going to affect, each channel separately. And then when it puts it back together, it's just like, is there green or is there, red, whatever. The magic happens when we plug a different value into here. So we can literally just plug this in to each of these nodes. And if you want, you can just stop right here. This is the effect. Hopefully you can see this in the recording. If you can't, you can just turn this up a little. If you turn it up too high, it sort of breaks the illusion and it just kind of looks like a checkerboard. But I think between like 1 and 4 pixels is like pretty good. Let's look at this again. Yeah, so this is the dither pattern. And I think it looks pretty good. It's pretty accurate, I would say. If we compare this to the original image, the sort of like contrast is a little different. And the way that I like to compare this is with a split node right here. You can plug in the dithered version and then the original, and you can sort of compare them. And the way that I like to, I guess, like tune this to make it more similar, you set this to 2. You can use like a brightness or contrast node, but because this is just grayscale values, I'll just use a math node set to add. And this is just going to, let's see, let me put that first. Sometimes it messes up tiling depending on where you put things. I don't know why. This seems sort of like a glitch. But anyway, I'll put this right after, and we can just change this to make it brighter or darker. And I kind of just do this by eye. So usually what I'll do is I'll squint until I can't really see the pattern anymore. And I'll just turn this up or down really slowly until it's hard to tell the difference, like where the separation is. So that's what I'm doing right now. I feel like this, I'm not great with color. So, do this on your own. You'll probably get it a little better. But I do think this is closer than what we had before. It looks a little more similar. Okay. So this is the first method. And when you're, done with this, you can just remove it, put it back when you need it. Okay, so the other method that I have seen people use, let's just grab these two, duplicate them. I'm just gonna put them over here, and I'll just select these and press M, and that's gonna mute them. So we can take a color mix right here. I like to set this to overlay, but you can test out other blending modes if you want. And this is kind of it. This gives us, it's not actually dithering it, it's not actually separating the colors. It's just overlaying the colors, but it still does give us a dithered look that a lot of people won't be able to tell the difference. If you want it to look even more stylized, you can add a posterize node before like this. And now you do see like separation of color. You can see it in like the door. There's sort of this gradient. You can play around with like putting this before or after, things like that. Before and after, like whatever you want. This makes it like extra easy. You can kind of put any pattern in here that you want. I'm just gonna plug the first one back in and put this above off to the side. Now I want to show you how to make your own dither pattern instead of using an image. So I'll just duplicate this and this right here. Okay, so like for this example, we can use a Voronoi texture. Take an image, it can kind of be any image, it doesn't really matter. Plug it into a scale node and change it to absolute. And this is just going to give us an image that is this size. So right here, it would be 2 by 2 pixels is what it's doing. If you turn it up higher, it's basically just going to tile. But now we can use this to give us image coordinates right here, and then plug that into the texture, and then we can view it. Oh, and we also want to, let's see, I'll set this back to 1 for now. And we also want to put this after so that we can set it to repeat to get it to tile. I'll set this to something higher, like 16 for now. Let's see, am I doing this right? Yes. If I turn this up, we can zoom in and actually see what's happening. So this should be 16 by 16 pixels, and we can change this value to get like a different threshold map essentially. And we can use this the same exact way that we were using the dither image, except we're using this procedural texture instead. So if you want it to have that sort of like classic dithered look, I like to set this to Chebyshev. It gives us more like squares, and you can turn the randomness all the way down. And now we actually have this very like rectangular pattern right here. You can turn it up and down to change it a little, and it should be tiling. So you get all these neat checker patterns. Oh yeah, I forgot to change this back to relative. So that's why it was kind of weird. I'll set this back to 4, and we can just play with this value until we get something we like. Let's try 8. Maybe that's a little better. You'll definitely have to dial this in a little to figure out like the pattern you want and then change the brightness, stuff like that. But this is, it's just another way of making a dither pattern. If you want it to be more random, you just turn the randomness up. It's still going to be tiling, but you'll get, different patterns in there. You can also experiment with making it not square, maybe set it like to 2, and then you get this sort of a line version, which I think is pretty neat. It's fun. I think it's also kind of fun to just use like a white noise texture, and this will give you like completely random values. Plug it in like that. Maybe set it to 4, like our original, and then you get something very random. You can set this to 4D and just sort of like click through them to get something interesting. If we take a look at this up close, it's very similar to how our original pattern right here looked, except it's a little less ordered, I guess you could say. But yeah, you can get some fun results for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, just do this. It's not a huge setup. You get pretty cool results. Mix it with other things, mix it with blur, try pixelating it, try putting posterize in weird spots, things like that, and you're good to go. All right, thanks for watching. Goodbye.